There are over 1.2 billion cars licensed on the world's roads today. So perhaps it's unsurprising that some people think they can drive like this. But what might surprise them is that they are now being caught on camera.
It's all on camera, buddy. I don't give a shit.
With as many as 50 million people injured each year on our roads, the use of dashboard cameras or dash cams has experienced a meteoric rise. And incidents captured on these cameras, along with CCTV and mobile phone footage, are being passed to police to help detect dangerous drivers and convict crash-for-cash criminals. But more often than not, these cameras bear witness to the daily antics that unfold on our roads, with people posting their dramatic near misses online to become viral sensations. In this series, we'll uncover the hilarious, the hazardous, and the downright outrageous footage taken directly from streets across the globe. And we've tracked down the people who caught these moments on camera.
People don't necessarily understand the power that they have in their hands.
To get the story behind what happened.
It did not feel real.
And although you may see some pretty shocking stuff, not a single incident featured involves a reported fatality. We've handpicked hundreds of the most eye-popping events captured on camera. So prepare to meet the world's deadliest drivers. Head on. Coming up, you put your right leg in. You take your right leg out. In, out. Shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. And that's what it's all about. Hey! Bikes. Everyone loves bikes. But did you know that if you're involved in an accident while on a bike, you're 17 times more likely to be killed than if you're in a car? Oh God, that's a bleak statistic, isn't it? Oh. Anyway, enjoy your bikes, just ride safely. Because most cyclists know to keep a good distance from those big metal hurt blocks. That's cycle speak for cars. Because the thing about cars is, they'll always win in a fight. Oh, I hope that wasn't a new bike. Nope, cars don't seem to like bikes. In Australia, this SUV has had a dangerously close call, coming within spitting distance of that cyclist. But after a brief altercation, the saddle-sore cyclist takes that a little too literally. Clearly had something he wanted to get off his chest and out of his throat. But it's not just cars that cause chaos. Other bikers bring bumps and bruises too. On the final stretch of this Santa Barbara road race, one cyclist wipes out and the rest fall like dominoes. Indeed, it seems stopping distances apply to bicycles too. When a cyclist went down on a road race in Brooklyn, New York, the rest didn't have enough space to brake, which led to a serious chain reaction. The injuries sustained included broken fingers, toes, and a lost bicycle pump. And that's not all these poor bikers have to deal with. Sometimes it seems the road is out to get them. Shout for the tram lines! And often, if you overexert yourself, you can end up hitting the wall. In fact, I reckon our obsession with filming everything will cause our ultimate downfall.
Riding home on my bike.
Some accidents are down to plain old vanity.
Let's see if I can handle these bumps with one hand. Oh, shit. Ugh.
Yeah, you deserve that, mate.
Check it out. All right. Well, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
I reckon we should make that the new title of this show.
Well, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
I've seen countless cyclists on their phones or with headphones in, not paying attention, not looking, and you just think, why? Because you're a soft, squidgy thing on a metal frame, and a bus is always going to win that fight. If you don't see the bus because you're looking at, I don't know, some weirdly politically racist thing your aunt just posted on Facebook, you know, you're not going to win.
Thanks, Alex, and that's why I keep refusing your aunt's Facebook friend requests. Saddle-based silliness is all well and good, but sometimes it can turn a bit more sinister, as videographer Alex Hennessy and his friend Mike found while filming their round-the-world trip.
We've done some crazy stuff so far. I've done the highest bungee jump in the world. We got our skydive certifications in Denmark, so we're now certified to jump out of airplanes without a tandem.
These two filmed every bit of their journey, even a bicycle tour of Buenos Aires, where they had their biggest adventure.
It was myself and Mike, and then we had 2 guides and probably 6 or 7 other backpackers. The weather that day was perfect. It was blue skies, it was warm, it was nice, like summery weather. I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Looks good.
I had actually strapped my camera gear to the outside of my camera backpack, which was exposing what would be essentially like $5,000 worth of camera gear. They told me that we were going to be, for a very short period of time, biking through a bad neighborhood. In my head, I was like, you know, I'm on a bike, it's broad daylight, so I don't see why it would be that bad. So when we entered La Boca, I was at this point in the middle of the pack. I noticed this gentleman by the fact that he jetted across the street and he almost got hit by a van.
Whoa, Migo. Whoa, Migo. Jesus.
But he stopped halfway into the bike lane and I just maneuvered around him. For me, it just came across like he was a really careless driver. So I started laughing. I just kept on biking, but then I could hear his bike coming up behind me.
Oh, Migo. Yeah.
Then he pulls out his handgun. He started saying, "Sácate la mochila." I didn't really know what the first part of that sentence meant, but when he said mochila, like I knew, okay, he was looking for my backpack.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to give it to him.
I don't know what you're saying, man. I don't know what you're saying, man.
He probably would have gotten about $5,000 worth of camera equipment, but you know, that's pretty silly. That's all just material stuff. It was more so the content that I would have lost. That was something that I couldn't replace.
I don't know what you're saying, man. Amigo.
I was kind of just buying myself time.
On the bike?
And then I decided that I would, you know, offer him my bike. I was just playing stupid.
Amigo. Yeah, I gotta give it to him.
He had his gun in my gut, and then he was grabbing my backpack with his other hand.
Amigo.
When I started running away from him, it was full adrenaline. I could feel my heartbeat going quite a lot, but I could feel this whacking on my forehead. I'd totally forgotten that my GoPro was on there. I managed to get up to the tour guide.
Okay, get me somewhere else. Get me somewhere else.
But it was definitely terrifying. I didn't know if he was going to jump on his bike and then come back and chase me down.
Where?
And my buddy Mike immediately gave me his bike. And thank God that they had a cop that was on the corner of the street right there, which was a huge relief.
The guy was just trying to rob me with a gun. That was pretty fucking ridiculous.
Alex's footage helped catch his attacker, but the gunman was released without charge, after doing a hold-up with a frickin' gun!
It was pretty stupid of me to have my camera gear exposed. I'm incredibly lucky that it was a combination of, you know, the confusion in the moment and making the right decision to not shoot me. I don't suggest anybody call the bluff of the robber. Like, just give him your stuff.
The fact that he was wearing a helmet cam certainly helped him out immensely, and he was able to have this footage. The individual who had stopped him and attempted to rob him was subsequently arrested. But my advice would be, don't engage, hand over and let that person go. And regardless of, foot, bike, car, whatever, don't engage.
Yep, there are some pretty scary people out there on our roads, but by far the most terrifying are those who are simply minding their own business a little too much. They are, of course, distracted drivers. Oh, did you know that a black bear can run at speeds of up to 40 miles an hour? Huh? That's faster than a galloping horse. It's crazy, isn't it? Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Anyway, in the USA, 78% of accidents caused by distracted drivers are a result of them using their cell phone at the wheel. That's 330,000 accidents a year caused by texting. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are plenty more things to distract you when you're behind the wheel. I'm sure this attention seeker wasn't expecting her Beyoncé-esque moves to provoke such a reaction as this. I mean, how predictable are men? Eyes up front, lads. Eyes up front. Yep, you've got to keep your eyes on the road, not on your sat-nav, like this guy. Although, to be fair, he clearly hasn't got a clue where he's going. You've now reached your destination. In the ditch. And this lady's having a lovely time. Or at least she was. But it's not clear whether it was the dangly pink toy hanging from her rear-view mirror that distracted her, or the text message she was reading on her really cool pink smartphone. Either way, she's written the car off.
Still, it means I could buy a nice new car, doesn't it? Maybe a pink one. I'll text me friends about it.
I think it's essential that we keep our wits about us when driving, partly because of the need to react to what's going on around us, but also I think there is more distraction out there, whether it's through mobile phone use or people just being really busy, and it's not just a case of watching out for your own actions. You have to look out for other people these days. Sat-nav, for example, can result in you taking your eyes off the road, and unfortunately very serious consequences following.
Tell it like it is, Sister MJ. But it's hard, isn't it, for people? There's not enough hours in the day. Of course they're going to try and multitask. For example, why brush at home when you can do it on the road? And spit. Don't waste time just driving to work. Why not catch up on the current affairs on your commute? I should probably be reading the highway code instead. Not everyone has time for a lunch break. As this peckish taxi driver proves in London, he knows he's been busted. But in for a penny, in for a pound. Perhaps he'll wash it down with a nice bottle of a few points on his licence. And after a long day at work, it's important to relax, unwind, show yourself some love. Oh, this guy's an absolute animal. Look at him. He's looking at porn in a traffic jam. The plight of humanity. What have we become? And if you think that's distracting, you won't think I'm blowing any of this out of all proportion. Yeah, that just happened, my friends.
Told you. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Are we watching this a second time, or are they doing it for a second time? Either way, that's kind of impressive.
Oh my God. We just watched a cop get fucking road dome.
I imagine you'll need a cigarette after that. Don't roll it while you're driving, mates.
Drivers should always make sure they're aware of their surroundings. Those surroundings can change very rapidly, whether it be weather, whether it be darkness, whether it be the road users that they're sharing the road with. So ensuring that you're not distracted by other things that stop you from keeping an eye out for what's on the road ahead of you and aside from you is really important.
But some distractions are completely unintentional and unwanted. And if you ever find yourself on the wrong end of one of those, someone you might want nearby is Dustin Clinkscales, a police officer from Austin, Texas, who became known as something of a lifesaver while on duty one afternoon.
The incident took place on a Saturday in July, 7:45 a.m. on one of the major thoroughfares in Austin. The road conditions were standard and dry. That morning, I was part of a traffic initiative, and I was seated in my patrol car. I was parked, and I was observing vehicles as they drove past me. One of the things that I'm looking for is speeding, dangerous driving, and using your cell phone while driving. It was a normal day, normal shift for me. I noticed a black sedan. I could see that the driver had her phone held up to her right ear. I pulled onto the road and activated my emergency lights. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be performing anything other than either issuing a citation or a warning on this traffic stop. When she pulled over to the left, it's out of the ordinary. People don't generally come to a stop there. So she stopped, and she stopped rather abruptly. So I exited my patrol car. I approached her window. I saw her using hand gestures. She wasn't saying anything to me. She pointed to her mouth and then to her back. I realized she was choking, she couldn't breathe. I performed the Heimlich. I learned the Heimlich maneuver in my police training. I honestly didn't know that I would ever use it. I gave like 2 thrusts. I was thinking that I had dislodged it. She wasn't responding, so I took it that it was not dislodged, so I gave her a deeper, stronger thrust. Did you get it? It dislodged what I found out to be a biscuit later, and that's when she took a big gasp of air. That was the sound of relief, probably for both of us, because now she could breathe, and actually I guess I could start breathing a little easier too. And she relaxed so much that she collapsed. Luckily, I caught her before she hit the ground. And then that's when I was calling for an ambulance. The emergency services arrived and they took her vitals. They put her on a stretcher. I guess that's when I first started thinking about what had just happened. She was unloaded from the back of the ambulance and taken in through the emergency room. She told me that she was trying to use the phone in order to call 911, but because she was choking, she couldn't breathe, she couldn't talk. I waited there with her until her dad arrived. He walked in, shook my hand, then gave me a hug and told me thank you. I'm not a hero. I think any other officer in that situation would have done exactly what I did. There's nothing that precludes you from eating and driving in the state of Texas. My advice to everyone would be to be aware of what could potentially happen when you're driving. I would just caution everyone to play the what if game. What if this happens? What if that happens? Every time they get behind the wheel.
Let that be a lesson to you folks. Chew each mouthful at least 30 times before swallowing. Someone once told me that what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Well, they were wrong. What the world needs now is a critical look at the contentious topic of road safety. So, we've taken it upon ourselves to redesign the highways and byways of the world. Well, when I say the world, actually, these clips all come from just one country. But we don't want to name and shame, do we? So this crashing nation will remain nameless. I wonder which one it could be. On an unrelated note, I just have to make a quick call. Excuse me a second.
Hello, yeah. Yeah, no, she didn't want to come, mate. Nah, she wasn't ready. Yeah, I didn't want to rush her. I said I didn't want to rush her. All right, thanks, bye.
Anyway, back to this as yet unnamed mystery country. First up, traffic lights. Why not give them a go? Rather than the current policy of seemingly accelerating over junctions whilst closing your eyes. I think one of the problems with modern life is there's often too much choice. So here we've got a 6-lane motorway. And for the driver, it's a bit like trying to choose a film on Netflix. There's too many to choose from. So you just gotta drift off. And then forget why you were there in the first place. With appalling consequences. Of course, what would you do if you witnessed a head-on collision? Maybe you'd stop, see if you could help, call the police. Not this driver. They just see if they could break the world land speed record. I don't know. Some people. Unfortunately, the drivers of this nameless country seem to be obsessed with crashing into each other, and they'll always find a way to do it, like overtaking at speed on snowy roads. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Have a guess. Eyes down for a full house. Could it be the truck? Could it be the car? Whoa! Whoa! I was not expecting that on World's Deadliest Drivers. A near miss. Woo! Well, there's a first time for everything. So, any idea what country we're looking for, dear viewer? I'll give you a clue. They drive on the right side of the road. Although obviously that guy was driving on the wrong side of the road, causing another terrible accident. If you've watched the show before, you might have a clue. Which country is it? It is, of course, Russia. That's right. Now here's expert Doug Brawner to get all riled up so you don't have to.
I once saw a very disturbing video out in the fields of Africa where a group of wildebeests were attacking a helpless poor animal. This reminds me of Russian drivers converging on a roundabout. It's just insane. No, it's just a free-for-all of crazy, and the end result is equally as disturbing.
Thanks, Doug. Excellent getting riled up there. So, we've seen the glamorous, the unanimous, and the dangerously amorous. But with 3 million dashcams on the world's roads, there's plenty more where that came from. Join us next time for more from the world's deadliest drivers.